starters, y'all might hear my baby. Get over it, because we were wrong over here. Baby got to do what baby got to do, so does a mommy. So I have been seeing a lot of people talk about the formula shortage, and that made me want to come on and talk to y'all today. I'm jumping ahead. I have videos that I normally will release, but I'm going to talk about this one right now. Breastfeeding versus formula. Let me go ahead and compare the two, and let's be real, because I have a child who was breastfed and is now on formula. So a lot of the breastfeeding moms, pro breastfeeding moms, are badgering those that are suffering from not being able to find formula. And let me tell you, one, that's not the way to go, because badgering somebody is not going to bully anybody into doing it. Maybe their next time, any of that. Oh, it's free. Breastfeeding is not free for everybody. Let's just start there. Breastfeeding is not free for everyone. Everyone does not have the, oh, my baby latched immediately story. Everybody does not have the luxury of having small boobs that makes it easy to just plop that baby on. Coming from someone that got these, I don't even want to tell my full breastfeeding story today, because I'm going to tell it on another day. But let me just go through some of the expenses that I had to pay. And I know somebody's going to try to be like, well, you didn't have to pay for those things, but no, I had to. So one, I started off with Hakas. And so with the Haka, I'm like, okay, it's okay. I don't have a pump. I don't have an expensive pump. It's cool, because as you know, with the Haka, you flip it under, you put it up there, the suction will cause the milk to come down. The Haka drained me so slow, one, and it only worked for that first week that I had my milk. After that, it would just drop. To the point that it was so hard to get enough milk to feed my baby, because I would still be needing to Haka the milk out. So my baby is screaming, crying to the top of his lungs while I'm trying to get milk out for him. And why not put him on the blue ass? Because he could not latch. He could not latch. Why? Because he had a tongue tie and a lip tie. To the point that I was trying to thug it out, and go watch my video on the tongue lip tie. Watch that. I was trying to thug it out, because I'm like, okay, everybody says, you know, it's part of the growing pains. My nipples were bleeding. They were scabbed. I was screaming to the top of my lungs every time this boy latched, because that's how painful it was. To the point, my doula and my lactation consultant said, do not be afraid to stop. It's okay if you have to give him a bottle, because you should not be going through pain like that. So that's why I had to bottle feed. But unfortunately, with the Haka, I could not express my milk fast enough for my child. And anybody knows, with pumping moms put in more hours pumping than a full-time job. You can go look that up right now. And with pumping, you have to pump every time your child eats. So not only am I trying to feed my child a bottle, but I'm also trying to get all the milk out. The Haka was not working, so what did that mean? That means I needed to get a actual electric breast pump, because my lactation consultant, which by the way was $200 every visit, was the one that said, you need a breast pump. You need a breast pump. There are cheaper breast pumps, but I'm gonna just be real. The cheapest one I found at work was still $100 and something, so that's not free. You might say it's kind of cheap, but not everybody can afford that. That's one. Two, breast pump parts. You have to wash every single part every time, because breastfeeding, my girls, it can get really bacteria germed really quick, okay? And I know that, because I tried to take the cheap route once, and what did I end up with? I ended up with a yeast infection in my boobs. It was so wonderful, all of my nipples and everything. Baby had it, and I had it. And I found out because he had a yeast rash on his butt. And I'm like, where did that come from? And so I had to take antibiotics. I completed the full antibiotics, and I still was having the symptoms, to the point that I literally had sharp pains in my breast, and I was crying, because that's how bad it was hurting all freaking day. But okay, that's not a charge, but antibiotics is a charge. Breast pump parts a charge. Having extra parts. Then I also had to have nipple pads, because I was leaking all the damn time. Literally, my shirt drenched in milk. My sheets drenched in milk. I'm trying to feed my baby, or my baby cry, it'll cause my milk to release. Drenched, okay? But it's because I have huge boobs. What does that mean? I need a pumping bra. Oh, you might want to say, well, why don't you just get a sports bra? Why don't you just get a sports bra? Some people are using a sports bra pack. Why don't I get a sports bra? Because, baby, they don't have sports bras in my size. Even the She Fit bras now cannot fit me. Why? Because my band is too small for my bust. So everybody does not have the same struggle. Everybody doesn't have the same struggle. Then if you want to talk about the lip and tongue tie release that I had to get done at the dentist, that was $800 for the procedure. That was $800. Yes, it was. And I'm going to bring it back to what stopped me. So I wanted to breastfeed really bad. Nobody in my family breastfed, so I did not have the luxury of understanding the struggle or having someone to help me to just guide me through the process, which is why I need a lactation consultant, because I also was trying to figure out how to get my baby to latch, you know, what positions were good, all of those things. That was extremely hard for me, right? And so I'm over here really trying to thug it out, but I ended up getting COVID. What happened when I got COVID? My milk supply decreased. And anybody that's gotten COVID has said that their milk supply decreased. Well, at the time when my supply decreased, it was just starting to regulate, because it regulates around the end of your fourth trimester. And so I went from being what some people would consider an oversupplier to regulating and making just enough for my baby to eat. So when it dipped, I didn't have enough for my baby to eat. So what did I have to do? Get formula. And baby girl, I cried. I have a ring with breast milk right here. I have a necklace, and I have another ring, because that's how much my journey meant to me, okay? And so I cried so bad, because I was like, there are so many toxins in this formula. I don't want to give it to him. But guess what? Fed is best. Fed is best. And if we're being realistic, I wanted to quit so bad because it was starting to impact my mental health. Because for someone that does not have extra support, it can also be very challenging, because I was working from home. I'm washing these pump parts, I'm feeding this baby, and I'm trying to pump all at once. Although I had the electric pump has the flanges and the actual containers that comes out. It was very hard for me to feed my baby and pump at the same time. Why? Because my partner was at work, so I didn't have anybody to hold my baby while I was doing it. My baby was too small to just prop him up, and then also choking, acid reflux. So what ended up happening was I needed to get hands-free pumps, which meant I also needed a hands-free bra. Why? Because if your flanges are too tight on your boob, it can cause the milk ducts to get clogged. There goes another bra expense. And I just want to let you know that each one of my pumping bras costs $70. $70. And I could have just one, but what would happen if my milk leaked on it and I needed to wash it? I wouldn't have a bra to put on. I wouldn't have a bra to put on when I pumped. And keep in mind, I can't hold my pumps to me. Why? Because I need to feed my baby. I need to feed my baby. And so I'm struggling. I am struggling because I need to feed my baby. I need to pump. I need to wash these parts. And all I can think of is, why can't my baby just latch? I wish my baby would latch. I wish my baby would latch. Because I'm also trying to work from home. And trying to feed this baby and pump at the same time so I have milk for the next time was extremely, extremely, extremely stressful. And I would see people say fed is best. Fed is best. Fed is best. And I was like, yeah, fed is best, but what's more best? The best is me being able to give my baby breast milk. And I took myself down a terrible rabbit hole of that, because mentally I didn't have it. I needed more support. I needed somebody to be washing my breast pump parts. I needed somebody to either feed my baby while I was pumping, but I did not have that. Unfortunately, that just wasn't the situation I was in. I will say, watch what you say when you say that breastfeeding is free. Watch what you say when you say it's simple, because it's not always simple for everybody. Some people do have a simple journey, but some people don't. Yes, I do understand that some mothers don't even try and go straight to formula, but guess what? Everybody has their own rite of passage. And if y'all want to bring history into it, yes, they breastfed. Yes, they did. But also, not everybody could breastfeed their children. So what happened? Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. Babies died. Babies freaking died. So be careful what you say when you say that these things are free. Be careful what you say when you say somebody should just go ahead and breastfeed their child because it's easy. It comes straight from the tap. Everybody's journey is not like that. Don't condemn the next woman when all they're trying to do is feed their child. Because guess what? They could not feed it at all. Let's just be real. They could. And so now, guess what? I am a mother that's impacted by the formula shortage. I was using Enfamil, and because Similac has so many recalls, now Enfamil is being hard to find too. And I understand all of the mothers that are scared. All of them are like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get this milk? By any means necessary, I'm going to get my baby some milk. I will. And he's to the point now where he does not want to latch. He's 6 months old and he weaned himself off. After I got COVID, I was supplementing. So I was giving him formula and breast milk. Now he does not want to latch. He doesn't. He just doesn't. That was his thing. He was away from me from 3 days when I went on a trip and came back. He was not interested. He was only latching once a day anyways. But it's not something he wants to do. You probably be like, well, why don't you just pump? It's so time consuming, my darling. So time consuming, and it just does not work for the predicament I am in. So everybody's lifestyle does not allow them to just breastfeed and give breast milk. Let's just be realistic here. So for all of the mommies that are considering, I say try it. If I had to do it again, I would do it again because I love being able to give my child what's best for them. However, don't be willing to die on that cliff. Don't be willing to die on it. Jump off that thing. Jump off that thing. That might not make sense. Either way, don't be willing to die on that. Do what you have to do for your child. Fed is best. If you have to give your baby formula, give your baby formula. Give your baby formula. It is what it is. It might not be the best and most healthy thing, but let's be realistic. A lot of us aren't making the healthiest choices in our lives anyways, are we? No. Some of these opinions are coming from the same people who eat meat. Like, I eat meat, but I mean, I also know it's not the healthiest. Y'all got high cholesterol. Y'all got diabetes. All these clogged arteries. You drinking like hell. All this alcohol. Your liver, kidneys can't function. But you so on this, oh my gosh, no. Give your baby what's the healthiest. If you have that option, yes. But if you don't, my girls, it's okay. It is okay. Do what you gotta do to feed your child. Remember, fed is best. Fed is best. Yes, formula is a little bit easier. It is more expensive in a way, though. I will say that, because at least my breastfeeding expenses, although they were expensive, they weren't consistent. They came up when they came up. This baby, though, he be going through that formula like crazy, okay? Like crazy. And the cost of formula has gone up. But like I said, fed is best. Thanks for listening. If you have any comments, if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, if you want to argue, the comment section is for you. Bye.